Hey guys, this is Manshark Sub LPs. I'm Sub, this is Crusader Kings II, and this is Millennia in the Making episode 13. We're currently playing as Otto of the East Francian Revolt, formerly Brunswick, formerly Saxony, and we are revolting. We're also rebelling against our liege, our nominal liege, King Carlman the Great of East Francia and Bavaria. We are attempting to become King of Bavaria because it was something that we could do, and, well, why not? That means that if we win this war, we will get all of these provinces. We won't get, what's this, Zonajmo over here, because that's under Great Moravia at this stage in time. So we'll get all of these. Let's just have a little better check of that. Yeah, we basically get that title and nothing else, apart from a bit of prestige and all that sort of stuff. Additionally, that forces us to implement the lowest level of Crown Authority in the realm. If we come up here, we can actually check out Crown Authority at this stage in time, just because of, well, we're technically a kingdom right now. So you can see we're running under... Well, what we had available last time, when we were just a duke, was we had the levies and taxation laws for our feudal, city, and church vassals. Now we have these two laws, investiture and crown authority. Let's cover investiture first, because it's a little bit easier. As you can see from the pop-up, this is who appoints bishops. If you have it as papal investiture, the Pope tells you who is going to be your bishop, and it basically just randomly generates a bishop whenever one dies to replace him with. So that gives you... Yeah, so that gives you a 50% piety cost discount when you're requesting special actions like divorce or excommunication. I believe it also lets the Pope like you a bit more. And you have... the other option is free investiture, which is you say who the bishop's going to be. Your bishops like you more because of that, because you've given them a position, and the Pope likes you a lot less and may constantly ask you to change back to papal investiture. You can also only change a crown law, well, I believe it's once per reign. That may not be quite true for investiture, but it certainly is for crown authority. So, crown authority dictates how many, levies you get from your men. If you have it as autonomous, they like you because they get to do whatever the hell they want. At low, you can now select who leads an army, which is really important. It's very important to be at this stage. Additionally, the minimum levy that your vassals will provide you with has increased from 0 to 20%. Normally your vassals will have to like you to give you part of their levy. And so, yeah, they'll always give you a bit as long as, you know, they're your vassal, and they like you a little bit less. If you go up to medium, that vassal levy increases. You can still appoint army leaders. Vassals can no longer fight amongst each other. And if there's anybody in your realm who isn't a member of your religion group, so for Catholics, which we are, we wouldn't be able to revoke, say, an Orthodox title, or... yeah, that's actually it, just Orthodox titles. Or maybe the Christian heresy titles either. But earlier we had a Slavic ruler of Anhalt, and we revoked his title. And that's because East Francia had medium crown authority. If we go to high, what changes there, apart from the vassal minimum levies, are that vassal titles can no longer leave our realm through, quirks of inheritance. That's kind of nice. It's actually pretty important. There are also some little restrictions on when you can do that. If we come back here, you can see that limited crown authority just means that, well, you need to have either been at autonomous vassals or medium crown authority, but medium requires you to not be a republic and not be an unreformed pagan religion. That is a massive disadvantage when you're playing as the Vikings. And if we go up to maximum, which you really should never go to, that means that your vassals can no longer wage war at all. Under all of these, they could previously wage war against people outside of your kingdom, and it's only at high crown authority, wait, no, medium crown authority, that they can't fight amongst themselves. Maximum means that they just can't fight. They give you almost all of their levies, they hate you for it, but yeah, they can't fight. So great. And this levy's law here, or the levy laws here, dictate the maximum vassal levies that you can raise, whereas these ones are minimum up here. Anyway, we've got a water wind, so let's get to it. We're currently besieging the county of Wolfsburg, or more specifically the castle of Schweinfurt. We have successfully besieged and captured all of the holdings in Nassau. Now, my beloved niece Benedicta is concerned that she is still not married. Understandable, she's 17 years of age. Wow. So, we can find her promise to find her someone nice and she'll like us for a bit because, you know, we promised her something. Or we can hope that she takes the vows. She wouldn't be a very good nun. She would be an exceptional wife to somebody. So, I will find her somewhere nice and we'll see she's gotten a plus... Yes, a plus 10 opinion bonus against us, and she's also getting a little bit of piety per month. We can't find her someone nice right now, so let's just re-find her, because that was a mistake that I made closing that window. Where is she? Here we are. We're going to mark her as a special interest character, just so that we can find her again and remember, because I'm really tired today. Like, I gotta be honest, I stayed up most of last night because I had a Death Watch pen and paper game to run. But, yes, I'm pretty damn tired right now. So I may forget about her unless I click her up as being a special interest character. So this war's coming along nice. If you remember from last episode, our vassals don't like us too much because we've been raising their armies up, so we put them down. Not in the sense of, like, you know, that you put down an animal, but we lowered the vassal levies so that they could go back to their place and people would like us. We do still have the mercenaries around, and that is costing us a fair amount of money, but it's something that we can sort of soak for this period of time. We really need to get in there and hold a Bavarian province. I believe that this one here, Niederbayern, was the one I highlighted last time, but I did want to take Wurzburg because it's one of the king's own provinces. So we're kind of preventing him from getting more men by doing this, because he can raise up all of the levies from his realms, but not as many from everybody else's. If I just check what his crown laws are, see, he's only at medium crown authority, so at minimum he can raise 40% of his vassal levies. Yep. Okay, we've got this wonderful spy master message. The people of Prussia have progressed beyond our own technological level, so we're going to get either 50 military, economic, or cultural tech points. Ah, geez, which one do we even want here? Military would be nice. Beautiful. But we're not going to invest in anything. Shipbuilding is kind of... we're going to get it eventually anyway, and it's not a big focus of what we're doing. Cavalry, we have... Yeah, we've got like maybe 300 cavalry, and some of those are mercenaries, so we've maybe got... Well, okay, in the province of Lundberg, in our main thing here, we have 118 light cavalry. We don't get any from the city, and we don't get any from the church. Geez, we could invest in something here. We're not going to invest because we're fighting a war and we need the money to pay those thieving mercenary bastards. So we'll just hold off on that. Go back to tech. Yeah, so we're not going to invest in either cavalry or shipbuilding. What we will probably do is hold on to those tech points for a bit. We gain a lot of military tech. And we're going to even invest it in military organization. We'll probably invest in a military organization when it comes down to it. Let's start that timer going so the siege progresses. Now, something I did notice while I was clicking around before I started recording was our Marshal getting on a bit. He's 56 years old. He's got this lovely beard. He also has 19 martial skill. We just click a point. He is the best man for the job. But Luidolf, our heir, has 17 martial, so he's not that far behind. More importantly, Luidolf wants to become marshal. So if we let him do that, he will get 18 marshal, which is very good. And it will also free up Gregor here to, well, if we could assign commanders, we would be able to assign him to a flank, because he is exceptional at flanking, and kind of terrible at leading the center. Though, just check that out, and the combat modifiers, you can see that because of his martial stat, he gets a modifier to these things. So instead of just getting the flat 20% bonus when leading a flank, he gets 39%. And instead of getting the minus 20% penalty for leading the center, he only gets a minus 1%, which is... who cares about a 1% penalty, really? It's such a shame that he's celibate. But, you know. I bet his wife doesn't mind. She's pretty content. But anyway, we're going to... because he likes us a lot anyway. For a lot of reasons. So we're going to appoint our son to be marshal and tell him to train troops in Lundberg. And you'll see here, there you go, his martial stat just increased. And that should have gotten him a little bit of... well, it's giving him a little bit of prestige just for being marshal. So that is a good thing for us, because now our heir is actually better than us at fighting. Not at much else, I gotta say. Right, we can't marry his betrothed at this stage in time, despite his betrothed being an exceptional oh. Well, I've just noticed something about his betrothed, which means we may break the betrothal. Despite this whole thing being a plot for us to gain counties of Thuringia and all that sort of stuff, while she is Midas touched and has plus 15 fertility, she is also, if we just quickly bounce over these, she is also chaste, which gives a minus 15. You know what? They cancel each other out, so it's not too much of an issue. Because otherwise, she's a really, she's a pretty good wife. She doesn't like us, but that's because we're dishonorable and we're... yeah, you know, this guy doesn't like us. We're probably going to break that betrothal when it comes down to looking at marriage prospects for our heir. We can't do that at the moment because we could break the betrothal, but we can't make another marriage for our heir because we're a temporary title. We're a revolt. This ticking war score is a real killer. Really getting in there. Okay, they've started a siege to retake Nassau. It's going at 4.8. So we will definitely beat them. And if I just check... no, the king is currently defending Schweinfurt here. He will escape, if we take the castle. It's just what he does. What we could do is take one of these two armies, probably the mercenaries, and just go smash these guys. Let's do that. So that means our siege will progress a little bit slower. You can see 5.8 instead of 8 point whatever it was. But when these guys get here in, 18 days... well, to start with, they're going to chase these guys off. That's fine. I'm actually fairly okay with him chasing those guys off because it stops that siege. And there you go, and now they're moving up to Weimar, and they will be there on the 26th. Oh, we would just miss them. Oh, that's a pain. Let's stop moving and just get this siege done with. Because once we do that, we will have to smash this army at some point, because they're able to besiege these provinces. Probably not able to besiege... oh, they could actually besiege our personal holdings. Probably not those of our vassals. Another thing we could do is try and reinforce. But no, they're settling in for a very slow siege. So we'll just win this in 2 more ticks. You see 0.1 morale. That's kind of a dick move there from the game. But it doesn't matter because in a couple of ticks... Come on. There we go. So we've looted 8.1 gold. That'll keep our mercenaries happy for another month, I believe. And now we're besieging the bishopric, which is 20.8. We will take this well before these guys even get like 75% of the way through. I think we lost a few troops there to an event, or gained some because of our reinforcements. Both of these armies are reinforcing because mercenaries reinforce naturally, and we have a what do you call it? A retinue unit in there. Speaking of retinue units, no, we cannot get another one. The defenders of Weimar launched an unsuccessful raid against the besiegers, taking heavy losses in the attempt, so they took a bit of morale damage, and they took a bit of manpower damage there. That's alright. They're still decreasing at 4.6 per 12 days. Let me just cancel that message. So it's not a big deal. We are quite easily going to take the bishopric and probably the city. Not that they are very important. I mean, these occupations aren't doing as much. The main thing that we've gotten war score from is the Battle of Göttingen, which is when we destroyed the king's army. I don't think he's going to... No, he knows he's losing, but he won't give up. The main worry is, as this drags on, he may call in some of his allies, and his allies are actually really powerful. This is the danger of going to war with a Carling. My prisoner, Mayor Ulrich of Pforzheim, is complaining about his dark cell in the dungeon, asking for more suitable accommodations. So, we can either let him rot, give him house arrest, or send him to the oubliette. Let him rot. We're not letting him go because he has a lot of combat modifiers, and he could prove to, you know, go off and lead an army again, which wouldn't be great. There's Wurzburg for us. We've got 9.3 gold from looting the place. And, you know what? We're going to send our proper army, so just us, up to deal with these well, they're not rebels, I'm the rebel, up to deal with the king's forces. I think we move faster than the... No, we should move at about the same speed as the mercenaries. Depending on your troop makeup, like the more cavalry you have, the faster you move, that sort of thing. Okay, they're going to move out on the 12th, we're going to meet them on the 7th. And just to check the terrain, there's no rivers, and the terrain is plains. So this will be a good matchup for us. Not least because we outnumber them 4-1, or 5-1. Close to. Okay, here's the battle. Us, we have Tybalt at 16. Oh, we actually moved the mercs. Well, silly me, but it's worked out. Contador Martin at 13. And wow, he's got 2 Tybalts. That's going to get confusing. At 15 against the Duke of Tyrol at 6. The Bishop of Wimpfen at 6. And the Bishop of Freising at 6. And, well, we probably don't even have a melee phase in here. No. No melee phase, we just broke them by shooting at them. And broke them significantly. 7.2% of a war score, 3.4 prestige, no piety, 0.1 miltech. And there are 8 of them left. And now we chase them down to Thuringen, wipe out the last 80 of them, and rejoin the siege. So we'll get there on 1st of March, which will come up about now. No. Okay, so what he's done there to stop me from just wiping out 80 men is he's removed them. He's lowered his levies. He didn't take any losses for it because, well, they were in his lands. It's actually a really smart thing for him to have done. A smarter thing for him to have done would have been to cede to my request and just given me the damn kingdom. That would have been smart. Okay, so after this siege finishes, which it should do in 2 more siege periods, we're going to take our forces and move them down to Niederbayern. That leaves us exposed up here, but hopefully, from the 1,400 guys we can raise, if we see anybody coming up at us, even with this penalty, they're not going to be up for long, so I'll just raise our vassal levies up, combine them quickly, and give them what for. There we go. We won the siege. We got 19.2 gold. That's because it's a city. Cities are rich. We're going to move out on the 14th of April. Can we catch them? Yes. So instead of coming down through Bamberg and Nuremberg to Niederbayern, we're going to go through, what's this, Württemberg? Württemberg. And I've accidentally pressed a button to go into independent state mode. Okay, we've just had an issue. It's not a big issue, but King Carlman of East Francia has called King Oswin of Wessex. King Oswin is a petty king, so he's technically just a duke, into the revolt that we're leading here. So, we go up to Wessex here. We're now at war with these guys. Do they even have boats? We're going to go to... Oh, jeez. We might be able to check this under independent realms. Maybe. No. We can't actually check how many boats they have. Oh, yes, we can. But we have to kind of click around. There's no easy way to check this. But if you see here, this is where you get galleys from. So we just check through their holdings. Usually cities will have galleys, but let's go to Wessex, because that's his capital. They are building a port, which will finish shortly, so that could be a little bit of an issue, but I think to get across the channel, they're going to have to hire a mercenary fleet. So, while it's not great, this isn't great by any means. I mean, the guy loves us, but he probably likes his ally better. Also because he's married to a Carling. Yeah. Well, you know, it's fair enough. You know, you honor your alliances, sort of thing, even if you have no intention of actually fighting. Okay, so very slight increase in war score, very slight prestige gain, because we just, you know, 3,500 guys just showed up in Württemberg, saw 80 guys having like a bit of a meeting and just sort of walked over and, well, killed them all. I'm not above saying what we were doing. So we're at 61% war score. Still not accepting peace. As soon as we take one damn province in Bavaria, one holding, that 16.25 goes and we'll have like 80% war score. In addition to whatever we get for holding the particular province. So getting to this one, Niederbayern, we're going there because it only has about 340 guys defending it, whereas Nuremberg here has close to 600, well, over 600, as does, well, Kempten, as, well, geez, St. Gallen has like 1,200 guys. That's ridiculous. Could go to Oberbayern, but it's also got close to. Niederbayern is the least defended place. So, let's go besiege the castle of Wittelsbach. Eventually, when we get there. Our vassal opinion modifiers are steadily decreasing. We don't have it against everybody anymore, just against the main ones. So that's good. The siege will begin on the 21st of May. You know what we should do? Just to prevent these guys from getting up and around the place, we're going to raise wherever those levies came from. I don't know. Ah, right. So we couldn't raise all of these guys, but we could raise these 98 dudes. That's not enough to have any sort of impact on things, so we'll put them down. And we're going to see, instead of raising all of the vassal levies through this screen, all 952 of them, we're going to just raise some. So we could get 274 from the Countess there. This is 106 from him. 35 from him. Wow. Total of 18 from these two guys. 64 from him. Well, you know what? I think 274 plus 106 from this guy will be fine. So I'll just have them get up and do their thing. Because the last thing I want to do is split this army and have like the Wessex guys come out of nowhere and destroy half of it. Okay, well, there was one guy, one archer, sitting around in Nida Bay and just sort of chilling. He managed to kill 4 of our dudes before we, rolled over him. So good on him. But that siege will finish very quickly, relatively speaking. And I'm really hoping that that is going to be enough to force a victory out of our liege. Well, our nominal liege. We've inherited the county of Freiland from Gregor. If we remember, Gregor was the celibate guy who used to be our marshal. Now he is dead. It's unfortunate, but it means that we now have this county here. So we could raise up 460 troops out of it. These guys can, well, to use the colloquial expression, piss off. So we're going to raise these guys, combine them together down here in Göttingen. Or in... yeah, that's the quickest way. So now we're going to have 2 main armies to manage and not just this guy down here. It's saying this guy down here is coming along quite nicely. Don't know if anybody's leading troops. I'm still leading a flank in Niederbayern, but that's alright. I don't think that the King of East Francia has any men left to even begin threatening us with. Our son would like to tell us that we're getting a levy reinforcement rate in Nuremberg, which is great. We may need that. We're going to readjust these guys so that we have the main force in the center. Just because it's a little weird to have a very strong flank when your center will crumble at a moment's notice. Okay, Prince Bishop Gottfried of Munster will get a bit of a opinion boost against us. That's wonderful. Particularly since they have an opinion penalty against us. We have a lot more gold than we just did like a moment ago, and I'll explain why in just a moment. But we have, because we borrowed money from the Jews to fund our mercenaries. No, that's a thought. Because we borrowed money from the Jews to fund our mercenaries, our bishops don't like us as much. We will also occasionally get an event where the Jews show up and demand their money back. And, well, that's not going to go too well for them, let me tell you that. Okay, so what I want these guys to do is just sort of move around up here. I'll let them besiege Thuringen. They can't besiege Thuringen, they don't have enough men. They probably don't have enough men to besiege... oh no, we could besiege Mainz. It's a nice little place, just sitting in here. And let me just quickly check on the King of Wessex. Okay, he's Anglo-Saxon and Catholic. That's good. If he was Norse, we may have had an issue. Not Norse as in religion, but Norse as in culture. Because I'm not sure whether it's the religion or the culture group that can actually sail down rivers. We can't do that, but they can. Which is, well, another reason why the Norse are awesome. Just saying. Okay, so he's currently got 20% just for holding all of Bavaria. So we're really hanging out for this siege to finish. This siege up here will progress really quickly, because it's a bishopric. Oh, anyway, this money that we've suddenly got, that's because when the Count of Freiland died, we didn't just get his lands, we got his money as well. So now we have 456 gold. We're going to hold on to that for the moment. We could simply repay the Jews. Repay them their 350 gold, and we would get rid of this thing here, which gives us minus 10 vassal sort of thing. We'll do that eventually, but at the moment, we may need the money. It depends on how long this war goes. The worst thing that could happen would be, well, the worst thing that could happen would be for the other kings to join in. The, let's see, the King of Lotharingia, the King of Aquitaine, the King of West Francia. If all of those guys join in, we're toast. We can't fight 4 kings. Even, you know, though we've already beaten, basically, King Carmen. We just can't do it, because we would be fighting all of this. We would be fighting all of Western Europe. We can't do that. Not now. Piss off, antivirus. So, we're just going to hope that that doesn't happen, and the second worst thing that could happen would be that we run out of money and our mercenaries either disband or turn against us. That's just not great. So, we're just waiting for the siege. It'll happen very shortly. Next tick. Why is there an Austrian army? Okay, so we want to work out what the hell's going on here. So we know this isn't an East Francian army because it's an Austrian army. So we click on this flag and it takes us to the Duchy of Austria, which is part of East Francia. So we look at the Duke of Austria, Wilhelm II, and we go to his diplomacy screen and we can see that he's got two wars. The first one is our one, and you can see here the primary participants and King Carman's ally, King Oswin of Wessex, not really a king, but whatever. And he's also involved, he's defending against Engelschalk, who was probably one of his counts, in the Austrian Civil War for seniority. That's a succession civil war thing. I don't know who Engelschalk is, but oh, here he is. Okay, well this makes sense because he's really old. He's probably not in line for the throne, but he would like to be. He's also kind of ambitious. Good on him. So while we're hostile to this guy's forces, they don't really count. Okay, there's Wittelsbach at 8.9. No, we still have this ticking war score, so we might need to hold the entire province. But that's fine because, well, look at that, minus 34.2. We could assault that, but we're not going to. What we will do, though, is we might... Oh, geez, we might assault the city when it comes to it. We'll just see how it goes. I do want this war to be over as quickly as possible. Is Benedicta going? Oh, Benedicta likes us for some reason. A lot more than she did. Cool. And Ada here we're keeping an eye on because she's got a really good genetic trait. Okay, we've got an army appearing here, the army of Bishop Sieghard. They've returned and they're going up to Nassau to besiege it. Good luck to them. Can we even do anything? 285? Oh, just... Yeah, we don't refresh the levy because we're occupiers. But, yeah, they just beat it by 60 men, so they do progress the siege score. If we're lucky, we might get some events that cut down on their numbers, and that will stop them from progressing the siege score. I believe it just pauses at that point. It doesn't refresh to 100% morale. Food and supplies have been smuggled into Mainz, which is this one here, which has increased their morale. Doesn't matter. We're doing fine. We're doing good. We've just taken the, what is this, the city, the bishopric of Regensburg. 8.3 gold. Wonderful. You know, I would assault it, but we're going to get it in about 24, 36 days anyway. So, you know. Why lose the men? What we would do, like if an army of say 5,000 blokes showed up in Nuremberg for like no reason, is we'd try and quickly assault it, take it, see how that progressed our war score. Large numbers of the defenders of Mainz here have perished. Wonderful. Yeah, see, we've already only had one tick and it's just taken a massive chunk out of their morale. Benedicta, my dear niece, clearly upset, is reminding me of my promise to get her married. I have just the person in mind. This old guy. Or that's it, you're off to a monastery, where she gets banished to Munster, or I still have not found someone good. The real problem is that we just can't marry her, because it's a temporary title. And that's just an issue, isn't it? And I really don't want to marry her to Malbride here because, well... he is my father-in-law, and it would be really weird. I mean, can you imagine that family tree? I know they're not actually like blood related or anything, so it's not incest, but he's my father-in-law, but then he would be married to my brother's daughter? It kind of doesn't really work out. I don't want to send it to the monastery. We can probably take that one. She's not getting an opinion negative against me yet. So that's fine. That's fine. I don't care. King's just started to lead an army. He's not going anywhere. If we attacked him, we'd have to attack him across the Danube, this big river. And that would be a bit of a pain in the ass for us. But we'll be attacking him with 10 times his number. I think it's worth it. See if we can catch him when this finishes. Which it is just done. 12.1. Does he still hold Bavaria? He controls Bavaria. Maybe we have to take the entire damn place. Fuck it. Let's go and try and kill the king. Well, not kill the king. We're going to try and capture the king. So we'll get there on the 17th. He hasn't moved yet. He has just assigned himself out of the army, though. So he's leading this army up, part of this army up here. If we just check, leading troops in the south. And they're actually going to leave this place on like the 12th. Alright, well, yeah, this ticking war score is a huge problem, so I'm going to come down here to... I'm going to force them to make their move. And then I'm going to come down to here. Though, I think I will complete this move and then move across. Just because moving across a river is definitely going to be slower than moving across, anywhere else. We took Mainz. We got 11.1 gold. And now we're besieging the Barony of Epstein. We only just can besiege that, so whatever. We'll just leave it there. So on the 17th, excuse me for a second. Hopefully I didn't blow anybody's eardrums out there. Okay, so yeah, I don't particularly want to do that siege, so in 4 days we'll get to Oberbayern. That's really quick. I don't think he'll be able to move away. Yep, slam. We're just going to wipe this guy out. We have gained a better understanding of military matters during this battle. So Lundberg now gets a province buff called War Knowledge for 1 year, which gives them an additional military spread rate. Also, if you see here, the central column is no longer led by anybody. That's because, in the chaos of battle, your men have managed to corner Bishop Sieghard. He resisted bravely before they slew him. Good riddance. You can see here, he wasn't really a very good commander, but, he was a guy. Okay, Princess Bertha has become a Grey Eminence. So she's got the best diplomacy stat. She is wroth. She is proud, she is just, and she is ambitious. She's looking like a fairly well-rounded wife for someone. She does have some weak claims, but they're on nothing that we actually own. They're on things in Lothringia. But, as before, we can't arrange a marriage for her. That battle went well, there's all the different things, and you can see here that somebody died during it, and it was their guy. We completely wiped them out, and now we're besieging one of the king's last holdings. He also has Baden down here, which, if the siege in Mainz goes kind of badly, we might just move these guys down here to Baden. But this one's more important at this stage. You can see the war score has gone up a little bit. He still doesn't want it. It's actually really annoying that we're going to have to hold all of Bavaria, or all of Bavaria that the king normally holds. So let's just check that. All of this dark grey area except for Schwaben and Znojmo, and this stuff down here, the Duchy of whatever the hell, the Duchy of Carinthia, because that's being held by the Lothringians. And of course, the longer the war goes on, the more likely he'll call in one of his allies, and it's just not going to be pretty. So the Bishop of Tyrol is involved in the Austrian Civil War, so while he's hostile to us, whatever. He shouldn't actively try and engage us. I think the king is in that army. Indeed he is. Alright, let's take our biggest army and send him across. I believe that's the Mercs. They'll get there on the 29th of January. He may move off before then, so what we're going to do is be sneaky motherfuckers. They got to Nuremberg. Gonna take them a bit of time to get there, but hopefully it will reduce the final travel time between, to get into Niederbayern. Truces are expiring. The truce with King Harold of Great Moravia only has 60 days left on it. We can just leave that message up there. It will automatically go away after the 60 days. It's just to let us know that, hey, you might want to declare war on this guy if you wanted to. You can. We don't. Not at this stage. He's fine. Just order that movement a little bit. Okay, so he's only going to take 8 days to get there. And, yeah, okay, we've got him. Okay, so the only options we left for King, or Bishop Almeric's army, which the king is a part of, to do was to move to Kempten, or to move into either Salzburg or Passau. If he moves into Passau, we've just trapped him further up into the Austrian side of things. If he moves into Kempten, which is what he's trying to do, it takes him forever because he needs to cross the Danube. And let's just check if the king is still there. He certainly is. And when we actually get into the battle screen in 3 days, 1, 2, and 3, we can see the king may not actually be there because he's not leading a flank. He is still in the battle, so he is leading one of the smaller regiments. That is a really strange decision, though, because he has 8 marshal. The leaders of these flanks, well, 5, 6. I mean, they're dead anyway. We got them. But it's a strange decision not to put your best commanders in charge. Okay, so again, change of a war score, some Miltech, some prestige. And we're just going to send these guys back down to Oberbayern to take the place a little bit faster. This siege up here is going so slowly, but it's going, so that's fine. Okay, our steward has sent us 54 gold, that's wonderful. Everybody kind of likes us. We're going well. Let's just see on how the Prince Bishop Ludwig of Bremen's thing is going. He is currently in Munster to improve religious relations. We're currently 85 with Prince Bishop Gottfried, who is the guy we care about. So he likes us more than the Pope, so we can safely tell our our chaplain to go and talk to somebody else. We can't get him to go and talk to himself, but we could get him to go and talk to Bishop Simon. Where's Bishop Simon at? So we try and find out. He's in Ostfriesland. So there we go. Because we should have checked this before we just assigned him, but we have every one of our provinces follows the Catholic religion. We're fine. So there's a bit of a battle down here between the Austrian revolt and the Tyrol army. That's alright. Ooh. This army is led by Prince Arnulf, who is the heir to East Francia. So, when these guys get down here, we're immediately sending them over to Kempton. If we capture the air, we don't automatically win the war, but it will give us a lot of war score. So yeah, we've got him. Well, we're attacking his army. And if we slay him, well, sucks to be him. Alright, Count Lofar is attempting to fabricate a claim on the Duchy of Brunswick. Bad spy master. We can't tell him to... Oh, wait, this is quite odd. This guy. Right. This guy is doing it. We can't attempt to imprison him because we hold a temporary title. He doesn't like us. He is ambitious. He is not a very good person. He would end the plot. Mainly because it's kind of shitty. And he's only got 25% power. You know what? We're going to leave that up. Because if I got this right, he was Oldenburg, which is this mob. He has no allies, nothing. So, after this war ends, we'll do something. We'll try and imprison him, get rid of him. Alright, we won that battle, we didn't capture anybody, you know. It's not a bad thing, but if we just keep on smacking down these little armies that keep on popping up, then we prevent him from sort of getting a mass of men together. Which is a bad thing. Wessex hasn't done anything. We can check to see if Wessex has hired any mercenaries, like boat mercenaries. So we just quickly scroll down and we're looking in this column here just to see which ones are actually boats. There's one. It has boats in it, but, well, nobody's hired it because it's really goddamned expensive. And yeah, that's the only boats one. Huh, that's weird. If I remember right, there should be some which just have 100 boats and nothing else. And they're intended so that you can just get a fleet when you need it for a bit of cost. Which is actually quite cool. I mean, you know, what if you're a landlocked nation over here and you're involved in a crusade? What are you going to do? March through Byzantium? Pretty sure someone did that at some point and it didn't work out too well for them. Like in real history, not this version of history. Yeah, there was something about they all just, like, they were dying of thirst and they all jumped into the river, like the knights jumped into a river that they found to drink, and most of them drowned. Anyway, our vassal, Mayor Folkhard of Auric, to the most illustrious Otto, the good burghers of Auric are barely able to pay their taxes. Our coffers are empty. I humbly ask that you lower the taxes for your cities. Your humble servant, Mayor Folkhard of Auric. So, we've got a few options here. The first one is an absurd request. -20 for basically all of our mayors. Very well, which is, we call a vote for normal city taxes, and he likes us a bit more. Because we have a high stewardship, we can attempt to bribe him for 54 gold. Well, we will bribe him. Because we have a high diplomacy, we can just flatter and serve him. He'll be impressed with us, and that's, you know, we don't have to do anything. So that's an advantage of having a decent diplomacy. I believe high counts as like 10 and over. Geez, I hope we end this war before like the end of this episode. I think we've still got about we've done about 50 minutes at this stage. So I'd really like to get this finished just so that we can wrap it up and get on to managing our new kingdom. Though this ticking war score, if we could just get rid of that, we would have won so long ago. Ah, well. Hopefully we do something. Hopefully we don't have to hold all of Bavaria, because that would be kind of irritating. I don't personally want a ticking war score on my side of things. I just want the king to lose his ticking war score. As soon as he loses that, we're at 100%. We declare victory. No dramas. The war's over. He hates us, but he already hates us because we're at war, we're dishonorable, he considers us a traitor, and we're both ambitious. Alright, one more tick and we'll get this castle here, and then... Yep, so we looted 12.1 gold. We have dragged Manfred Carling, one of the princes of East Francia, out. So, like before, we could attempt to ransom him for 74 gold. We hold 2 princes. You can't tell them apart because they're children. Children will look the same, unless they're from different parts of the world. And you can see we get another 5% for holding him prisoner. That's good. We're at 74%. Will he accept peace? No. And he's still in Nassau. His heir is in Nassau. We're really just trying to stomp through here. We'll take this place in a few days. What was it? The city of Dachau? Pretty sure it's pronounced Dachau. Dachau. I remember that city from my high school education because we learned about World War II a lot in high school. And World War One. Big thing. Yep, so next tick we'll just get that. They're besieging Whittle's back again. Let's just check to see if the king is in on that. He is not. His heir isn't. We will just go over and beat the shit out of him, but, you know, whatever. 15 gold from that. Some new cardinal got elected. War score is getting massive. Yeah, if it wasn't for that tick in war score. Okay, so now we're assaulting a bishopric, but we're going to get our mercenary army. Again, send them up to Nuremberg and across, just to destroy this army before it gets any further reinforcements. We've also almost taken the... Yep, there it is. We've taken Epstein. We've got 9.3 gold. We have dragged Margaret out. She is the widow of Baron Wolfer of Epstein, who is dead because, you know, he's a widow. So, with her, we can't check out her diplomacy stat very well because she gets a -10 for being in the dungeon. But if you see here, she starts at 5, gets 2 bonuses, takes away 4 for her traits, so she would only have a base diplomacy of 3. So she's good at intrigue, but not much else. Anyway, we can ransom her. He'll pay the money. Maybe because, yeah, I believe that she is his mother. Let's just check that. Yeah, see, here's the Baron of Epstein right now, so he'll be fine with that. And 10 gold is 10 gold. She doesn't count towards the war score because she's the mother of a baron in friggin' nowhere. So we'll get a reply and get 10 gold out of that soon. Now we're besieging a city. That should go a lot faster. And it will. Food and supplies have been smuggled into Frankfurt. So we're still at 100% war score. Well, not war score, but morale there. And it's just ticked down. With glorious Otto, your wisdom and mercy are legendary. I accept paying your ransom. So we got an extra 10 gold. We're actually making money. I know it doesn't look like it because our monthly balance is minus 5.95. But we're making money because we keep winning sieges. You know what? After this battle, I think we'll call it an episode. He is attempting to move and has failed miserably. So we just kick the crap out of him. Come on. There we go. Another 4.7 to the war score. 3.3 prestige. Never a bad thing. A little bit more Miltech. Wiped them all out. And now he can head back here. Let's see what the king thinks. He's losing, but he won't give up yet. Yeah, so, let's call that an episode. I think we've made some good progress here. I mean, it was really just a continuation of what happened last episode. In the essence that we were winning the war last episode, and we've continued to win the war, just a little bit more authoritatively. I swear we're not trying to form Nazi Germany. Just putting that out there. We can't even form Germany because Germany doesn't exist in Crusader Kings. Germany as a nation, I believe it was formed in about the 1870s or 1890s from Otto von Bismarck, like the Chancellor of Prussia. So we're not going to be Nazi Germany, I swear. But anyway, we're going to be, kicking around people and all that sort of stuff, and maybe a bit of a dictator, so maybe a little bit. Anyway, if you've got any questions, feel free to ask them. Always happy to answer them. Throw me a like if you like it. Love to see some more people subscribe. That'd be awesome. I really appreciate knowing that people watch me play this game. And yeah, hope to see you again next time. So for that, I've been Sub. You've been yourselves. Later.